Corruption is defined as the abuse of untrusted power for a private gain. In this case, we clearly see the Mexican government and officials abuse their power in the Tren Maya project by avoiding lawsuits, displacing people, violating human rights, and doing intentional markup just for the gain of money and to gain the trust of corrupt providers and transnational investors. The Tren Maya is a case that consists of a project accepted and carried out by Mexico's current president, and it is related to Fonatur. It consists of constructing a transportation service that connects all the important cities of the Yucatan Peninsula, passing through different Mexican ecosystems such as jungles and cenotes. This project is said to have 15 stations passing through the states of Chiapas, Tabasco, Campeche, Yucatan, and Quintana Roo. In the political perspective, we know that the politics is about aggregating needs and seeking justice. When a corrupt act is done, it will generate distrust in governments. Citizens that have been up to date with this case have generated a huge amount of distrust due to the organizations carrying out this project. It is important to mention that the project has transnational investment, that the development of this project was separated in 7 different sections. Each of the sections is funded by different investors. Between these transnational investors and organizations working on this project, we find actors that have been linked with cases of fraud, bribery, and corruption, here in Mexico and in other parts of the world. Between these groups, we found BlackRock, Mota Engel, and China Communications Construction Company. On the social and cultural perspective, more corruption will create a problematic environment which will create less peace. We also know that when someone does a corrupt act, inequality will be created and injustice will be found. These are some consequences of the corruption on the social aspect, and we may see this in the case of Tren Maya. We see this in people that are being displaced. Even though there is no law that allows the government to move people from their location due to tourism projects, they are still doing it and making it seem that they gave residents a choice. We see this injustice also in indigenous communities, since the government didn't correctly solicit permission to construct through these areas. The economic perspective of this case may allow us to analyze how corruption may cause short-term individual gain for the people making the corrupt act, in this case Fonatur. They are not taking into consideration the huge impact they may have in the project and economic safety. This corruption case may mean a series of consequences such as low-quality infrastructure, lower government trust, and worse environmental harm. Looking at this project through the budget perspective, this is a project that was set to cost around 120 billion pesos, although last June it was declared by the SICT that the project investment was of 230 billion pesos. This means that the project cost has increased around 50% of its initial cost. This is a clear sign of markup, which may mean a collusion between officials and suppliers. We know that the Tren Maya sets out to create a great number of jobs, but this case is also clearly violating several SDGs. It goes against the SDG number 15, which is focused on life on land. This project is set to destroy a great part of the Mayan jungle, habitat of different endangered species. This project destroys more than 20 protected zones, including the Calakmul Reserve, which is a forest protected by UNESCO. SEMDA declared in their lawsuit that environmental destruction violates Mexican citizens' right to a clean ecosystem. Around 330 actors have made lawsuits regarding the project. These lawsuits are focusing primarily on the deforestation, indigenous rights, and unlawful resident displacement. We saw that this case is a corrupt act behind corrupt act and so on, from manipulating costs to making alliances with corrupt organizations to unlawfully displacing people. This is a huge case of corruption. The theory that we identified is a contingent behavior theory, which is basically that people will influence the acts of other people, so by making a corrupt act, they're unconsciously manipulating other actors related in the project to make corrupt acts as well. The United Nations has a toolkit against corruption in which we found a series of suggestions and strategies that may be used to reduce corruption. Tool number 15 states, authority to monitor public sector contracts. In here, the UN suggests creating an international authority that will specialize in monitor different contracts and transactions. The UN suggests doing this due to a large number of corrupt practices in the political, economical, and social areas. An action that has been done related to the topic is that the Mexican government and the UN OPS signed a framework agreement to improve the quality of public administration. This includes promoting transparency, efficiency, and effectiveness in the management of public infrastructure projects. The Tren Maya is an ambitious project, but with a great number of inconsistencies, bribery, and corruption behind it.